The next step I'm going to take on the combing process is to break the symmetry. And breaking the symmetry is super important to make it look more realistic, especially on areas like the forehead, on his back, on the top of the head, and even around the nose. It helps a lot to make it look more natural. If you don't break the symmetry, you end up with a very visible seam exactly in the middle of his head. So the way I break the symmetry is actually splitting my head groom into two different guide groom nodes. I can simply copy and paste them, isolating the areas I want to do. First thing, I'm going to create the symmetrical side, and then I'm going to create the asymmetrical side. I'm going to paint them in different colors, so it will be easier to distinguish them between each other. And I'm going to select now the guides that I want to be asymmetric. I use the wireframe view to select, but it can become a little bit difficult to visualize, so I'm gonna multiply the wire width a little bit so I can see slightly better what I'm actually selecting. And I'll grab the middle guides and a nice fall off around them so I have some room to play around and break the shapes in overall. But I don't want to select too many guides because otherwise I'll end up combing twice what I actually only need to comb once. So I will drop a blast node, copy that, and invert my selection. And for the asymmetric side, I'm gonna mirror them before actually plugging in. So I will start already with the guides on the other side combed. And I press reset strokes on both sides. And now I have a clean area to work on. And now I can start breaking the symmetry. And the main point about breaking symmetry is making the guides on one side cross this seam line on the middle. You don't have to go crazy on both ways. It's just enough so it doesn't look obvious where the line is. And if you press Ctrl Z and need to actually redo a lot of steps, just before pressing anything, go to the redo and it will bring back your guides. It's one bug that sometimes happens when combing the guides, is doing that the way Houdini internally caches it. And I'm also going to use asymmetrical parting lines to break up even more the shape between both sides. And even on the swirl side, it's nice to make it cross from one side to the other. The more you break this shape, better it will be. Notice that I'm not really worrying about combing the ones on the borders. These ones are going to naturally be merged with the others. So the most important is actually this seam in the middle. And you can go really extreme on some guides. It will bring some interesting patterns.